Peeps, Kenny Molotov here in the studio. I'm going to let you guys get to the vlog. I just want to let you know, I did a poll recently on YouTube and I asked you guys if you wanted a Q&A and a bunch of you said yes. I just want to let you know this is a call for a Q&A. Ask me any question down below in the comment and I'll make sure to get you guys an awesome Q&A for the holiday season. I appreciate the love and enjoy the vlog.
Perfect.
Peeps, welcome to another vlog. I know you've never seen me really casual. I'm normally wearing just work clothes. It almost feels like we're going for a trip, or I'm going for a trip, because I ended up having to grab a bunch of things. Got a spare change of clothes, toiletries and stuff like that. I got my lunchbox in case I need it, my vlogging bag down there. Like I was telling you guys in the last vlog, we essentially have a big job that we have to do. It's that new coffee shop, and because it's so far away, Dad and I find it more beneficial for us to go on the weekend, get the work in as much as we can so that we can get as far ahead as possible. That's the game plan. Let's get to it. We are officially here in the job site. I'm wearing an official uniform. I'm gonna bring you through what we're hoping to do today, and I'm not sure how much we're gonna be able to get done, but like I said, we're working today and tomorrow. Let's take a look. So if we pop in over here, we're gonna be having a washroom in here. This should be handicap accessible. You're gonna have a toilet that goes there, floor drain that comes in here with a clean out. I think the clean out's on this side, floor drain's gonna be here, and then right over here in this opening with this joist right here, we're gonna be running a vanity connection. The vanity will be going this way, but we're going to be doing a wet vent right over there. We'll continue on in this direction, and on this side over here we're going to have another toilet in there with a vanity goes right over here, and on this side we're going to be running clean out, and then on this side we're going to be having vanity connection in there. Continue on into the main grease interceptor and sink connection right up in here, and we're going to have a drain that runs from all the way down there to here, which also connects into the main pipe right there. So that is going to be an extensive job. It's gonna take us many hours. We're here in the afternoon now. Dad and I are basically gonna work till dark outside and until we're beat, and then we're gonna come back tomorrow and do it again. And you guys are coming along with us. So let me set up the cameras. We're gonna decide on where to start, and then we're gonna get into a bunch of juicy plumbing. Let's go. peeps, I wanted to bring it into the studio because I want to talk to you guys about how plumbers size horizontal drainage pipes. So here's the thing, Dad and I ended up having a little bit of difficulty of figuring out what size these long pipes were gonna be inside the video that you're watching here. And what we had to do was essentially do something we both learned in plumbing school, which is sizing horizontal drainage pipes. But in order to talk about this theory, there are a couple of things that I need to clarify. I need to define to you what hydraulic load or fixture units are. Fixture unit is a unit of measure given to each and every fixture in order for us to size the drainage and venting system. So in other words, every single fixture that we install essentially has an attributed fixture unit given to it so that we can figure out through its fixture units how big the size of the pipe that it's discharging into is allowed to be. What you need to know is one fixture unit is based on a rate of discharge of 1 cubic foot, 6.25 gallons of water passing through a 1/4 inch patented outlet in 1 minute. So peeps, this is a rough sketch of what we're roughing in. So I want to run you through the issue Dad and I dealt with and how we ended up solving the issue. So here's what we ended up having. As soon as we walked in there, we had the trenches that we needed, but we only had one pipe that we could connect to, which was this 4-inch sanitary pipe running through the unit. Now the first thing that we needed to find out was what sort of fitting we were going to connect into this drainage system in order to connect the branch that goes to the right and then the branch that goes to the left. Now here's something you need to know. There are certain fittings that are permitted, and then there are certain fittings that are not permitted, and then there are certain fittings that are permitted in certain areas and not in others. And here's a perfect example of one that I'm going to describe to you guys because my dad initially approached the idea with putting in a double Y. Now as you saw from this video, we actually did put in a 4-inch double Y, but as soon as he brought that up, I remember that in plumbing school, a double Y was considered a fitting that's not permitted in certain manifestations. As soon as I found that out, I had to run to the code book. Here I have an Ontario plumbing code book, and in the code book you can find all the answers to all your questions, and I looked up which fittings are not permitted. And here's what I found out. In the code book, 7244 says, no double Y, no double TY, double T, or double waste fitting shall be installed in a nominally horizontal soil or waste pipe. So as soon as I looked up 7244, I said to myself, okay, we're good because Dad is planning on putting it vertically rather than horizontally. Therefore, we should be good to use a double Y in this situation, which is why the inspector gave us a pass on. Now, the second thing that we ran into, which is why I'm talking about sizing horizontal drainage, is that the engineer on this side of the drawing ended up telling us to run 4-inch pipe across here. And Dad and I sat back and we said to ourselves, we just bought a bunch of 3-inch pipe. Why does the engineer need 4-inch here? That's when we had to go back into the code book and look up a couple of other things. We had to look up 7493, which is the minimum permitted size of fixture outlet pipes and hydraulic loads for fixtures. We had to look this up because it tells us exactly how many fixture units each fixture will give us according to the size of its trap. And we also had to look up 74108, which is the maximum permitted hydraulic load drained to a horizontal sanitary drainage system. So in other words, what we had to do was we had to start counting out all the fixtures, we had to start adding up their hydraulic loads, and then we had to see if a 3-inch pipe would essentially hold that amount of hydraulic load. And this is what we came up with. For a 3-inch pipe, you are allowed 27 fixture units to discharge into it if you have a slope of rise over run 1/50th, or if you're going through a ratio of 1 and 25, you're allowed 36 fixture units. Now these numbers up here are discussing the slope of the pipe in and of itself. So you have 1/8 of an inch per foot, or 1/4 of an inch per foot, or even less than that. And you're allowed a maximum of 36 fixture units of discharging into a 3-inch horizontal drainage pipe if you have the appropriate slope for it. Now, if you move up to 4-inch, you're allowed 180 fixture units, 240 fixture units, and 300 fixture units depending on the slope. So in other words, if you counted up all of your fixtures here and all of their hydraulic loads or fixture units, and that number that you added up is larger than 27, you're gonna have to upsize that pipe to 4-inch. If you have 27 or less, you can continue on running 3-inch. That's essentially what we had to figure out. And here were the numbers that we ran into. Okay, so we already solved the issue on what fitting we're allowed to use. We're running a double Y in this situation. The next thing we need to know is, do we have to run 4-inch up here or do we have to run 4-inch down here? We need to know what sizes we're running. So essentially, here's what we had to do. We had to write down all the different fixtures and all their fixture units. And let me run through it with you, okay? So a 3-inch floor drain is gonna have a hydraulic load of 3 fixture units. Cappuccino machine is gonna have a hydraulic load of 1 fixture unit. A sink is going to have a hydraulic load of 1.5 fixture units if it's an 1.5-inch trap. A floor drain that's 3-inch, again, is going to be 3 fixture units. A glass washer, which is a fixture I had a hard time finding fixture units for, I ran at 1.5 fixture units for this situation. Another sink is going to be 3 fixture units because we're running a 3-inch trap for it. And then a laundry tub, which is going to be 1.5 fixture units with an 1.5-inch trap. And altogether, you come out to a load of 14.5 fixture units running through the entirety of this pipe. So here's how we can tell if 3-inch is enough for this situation. We come to our chart, which is 74108 in the Ontario Plumbing Code Book here in Canada, which is the maximum permitted hydraulic load drained to a horizontal sanitary drainage system. And we look at what we have. So we're running it either at 1/150th or 125. And for both of those slopes, we have a maximum permitted load of 27 fixture units or a maximum permitted load of 36 fixture units, which tells us that if we run 14.5 fixture units throughout this pipe, it is plenty big enough for us to run 3-inch, and we do not need to upsize to 4-inch. Now, if we move on to the right-hand side of this, we're gonna see that we have a water closet at 4 fixture units, floor drain, which is 3-inch at 3 fixture units, a lab, which is 1.5 fixture units, another water closet at 4 fixture units, another lab at 1.5, and then an additional sink at 1.5. And if you tally that up, you're at 15.5 fixture units. So it's the same deal. We come over to our chart over here and we start thinking to ourselves, okay, I run a 3-inch pipe at 1/150th of slope or 125 of slope. Maximum permitted load is 27 fixture units or it's 36 fixture units. I'm only running a total of 15.5 fixture units throughout the entirety of this pipe. So therefore, 3-inch throughout this entire pipe should be good to go. Now here's where it gets interesting, and here's why you saw us put a 4-inch double Y onto this horizontal drainage pipe where they two meet, because now what you have to do is take the fixture units on the right and the fixture units on the left, and you have to add them together. So if you add the left and the right together, you're gonna come to 30 fixture units altogether. And what's interesting is if you come down to this section right here and you start looking it up, 30 fixture units definitely surpasses 3-inch at 1/50th of a slope, but it doesn't surpass 1/25 of a slope, which is 36 fixture units. So it really depends on the slope that you're running for this situation, but the moment that you essentially add them, and if you're going at 1/50th of a slope, then you definitely must upsize to 4-inch, which is why we're using a double Y. Then we put 2 bushings in order to account for the 3-inch branch on the right and the 3-inch branch on the left. And that's essentially how we connected all the pipes, and we made sure that it was up to code, so that if the inspector looked at the drawings and said to us, guys, look, they were telling you to run 4-inch the whole way, we would be able to give him justification as to why it still should be permitted to run 3-inch the entire way and then 3-inch the entire way until both sides connect, in which case it becomes 4-inch and goes out to the city. And that's one thing you got to remember. The code book is intended to protect everybody. In other words, if you cannot justify things with the code book, you're going to be in a sticky situation where you might lose a ton of money. Because, for example, if we didn't calculate all of this and we ended up finding out that all of this was actually above 27 or above 36 fixture units, and we ran 3-inch, the inspector would come, he would look at it, we'd try to justify it, we'd be wrong, and we'd have to rip out all all of these fittings in order to make it correct according to code, and then put in 4-inch all the way. It's a way of protecting yourself, it's a way of the city protecting themselves, and it's a way of the engineer protecting themselves from other lawsuits and stuff like that. So you got to remember, the code book is actually a tool which is necessary, especially on official job sites where there are permits, money is spent, and a lot of money is going into the building of this project, essentially. So I hope this made sense to you guys. It might be a little bit complex because this might be the first time you're being introduced to horizontal drainage, but it's something you will get over time. Don't be nervous about it. And if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments below, and enjoy the rest of the vlog.